travelers, and welcome to Go See Do Explore.
Here we dive deep into the world of travel, sharing practical tips, can't miss experiences, and the insights to help you make the most of every trip.
Whether you're a seasoned explorer or just starting to plan your next getaway, you're in the right place to get inspired and equipped.
I'm Christopher.
And I'm Ashley.
And together, we'll help you chart your next adventure, discover what to see and do, and share the stories that bring each place to life.
It's time to go, see, and do more. Let's explore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Go See Do Explore podcast. We are back this time for a special episode.
That's right.
We have an interview with our wonderful tour guide from Mexico City, Laila. And it's really interesting to hear her story of how she got started as a tour guide, then talking about the trips, the tours that she offers. And she also talks about some of the must-see experiences in Mexico City.
This is going to be a two-part episode for sure. So we'll run through about half of the interview in this one, and then it'll continue into next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be really fun.
Let's get to it.
We are joined today by Laila Navarro, founder of Descalzos, which is a project that creates tours that are grounded in joy, connection, and a love of nature. We're so happy to have Laila with us. Laila was our guide on 3 tours in Mexico City. Really looking forward to chatting with you for a little bit here. So why don't we start here? Could you tell us about your journey into guiding and what led you to start Pies Descalzos?
Oh, yeah, sure. It has been a real, like you say, a trip or a travel. I'm super excited also to be here. I never did a podcast before, but talking about this is something that makes me really happy. So initially, well, I'm a visual communication designer. I started to design since I was in high school, so really young, because I had a boyfriend that was a designer and taught me how to do design. So I started to work as a designer really early. Then I studied many things because I know I had like abilities of design, but I heard that in Mexico it's not well paid, so I wanted more. So I entered in architecture, and I did 1 year of architecture because I want to be a industrial designer. Then I didn't like architecture, but the classes were amazing, were awesome. Like to study the history of architecture was the classes I enjoyed the most. It was incredible. And now that I am a tour guide, I thought that all the things that I did helped me to be how I am in my tour. So studying architecture in UNAM, I studied in the school in Ciudad Universitaria, the biggest university in Latin America, and the campus was the biggest in Mexico City. So it's also a tour to go there and watch the university because it's so big. It's like the name in English is a university city because it's like a city inside the city. So it's something you have to come to see. It's a really nice tour. So then I didn't like architecture, so I quit and I started marketing in ITESM and Tec de Monterrey. So I started in other campus out of the city. I started 1 year there, then I came back, I studied another year. But in the other state, I used to have a scholarship because I had a cousin that was working in that campus, so she helped me to... She told me the steps to get a scholarship, so I entered all my papers and I had a really high scholarship because this university is one of the best in business in Mexico, but it's very expensive. It's one of the expensive universities in Mexico. So without the scholarship, for me, it wouldn't be possible. So when I came back to Mexico City, I lost the scholarship, which was a not good decision of changing the campus, but I really wanted to study here in Mexico City. Then my dad told me that he couldn't afford me anymore the university, and I really wanted to finish my degree in university. So I started to work in the street selling food and selling a lot of things. The story is a little bit big, but I used to have one of my business was a sauce for drinking beers, and it was quite good, and it became really famous because at that time there was no chili or sauce for the micheladas. We call it here in Mexico micheladas. It's like street
Uh-huh.
beer, like something you buy in the
Yeah.
street. Like it's really how you say trendy because we Mexicans drink
Mhm.
everything with chili,
Yeah.
with lemon. But at the end, I started to study visual communication design in another university, which is called UAM, Xochimilco. So there in that university told you the vision is like you study something in the university to help your society or yeah, to make a benefit in the society. And before that, I used to have like a capitalist mind. I only wanted to do money, money, money. So I used to have many business, but everything I did was for money, and because I needed, of course. So then I ended the visual communication design. But all these years that passed, I was working in graphic design, and my first approach was in a when I ended the university was in a marketing digital agency focused only on tourism companies in the Caribbean. At that time, I changed um, my home and I went to live to Cozumel. So it was super nice because we were this company, this digital marketing agency, work for agencies of tours, hostels, everything that has to be with tourism in Cozumel. The best place to be, by the way. So
Yeah.
it was my first approach to tourism. So I was in the area of design. So I was in charge of making posts for Facebook, mainly for all the month posts that the companies do. So I was in charge of that, but I really enjoyed to go to the shootings in the venues. So it was something super cool, and they invited us to join the tours, to go scuba diving. It was amazing. So I did that like for almost 4 years, working home. Even though I was living in Cozumel, the work was remote, so that allowed me to travel to other parts. So at that time, I met a Swiss guy in Cozumel, and it's also a very long story. But we were together like for 3 or 4 years. So at that time, we used to live in Switzerland the half of the year, and in Cozumel or Playa del Carmen the other half of the year. And I was making these posts for these companies remote. So it was super cool. I gained like nothing. I was super poor at that time, but I was traveling a lot. With the help of my boyfriend and also and because I could work remotely. Then I had to came back to Mexico City because I had a sickness, and I hated to live in Mexico City. Like for me, the change for passing from a very very small uh, neighborhood in Switzerland in the middle of the mountains with cows, and then my other part of the year in the beach in a very small island in paradise. The change of coming back to Mexico City for me was hell. Like I was like, no, what I am doing here, a lot of people, a lot of traffic, a lot of noise. I was super sad at that time because I love the nature. So all my life I have enjoyed. Maybe it's because I live in a very big city. For me, the moments that I am in the nature are like gold, like are something I really appreciate. I appreciate more because in the city it's complicated to enjoy the nature. But well, anyways, so I started to work in a agency that we used to send students to live in to study in our countries, like camps, languages, college, master degrees, languages mainly. So for me, was the job I enjoyed because I did it once like a language course when I was in high school. So I had that experience, and I feel really happy because that was my very big opening into the in traveling in the world. Like after that, I
Hmm.
couldn't stop traveling. It was something like I really appreciated in my life. So I think I was contagious because the people were so happy when they heard my story, and I was like, no, really, it's something you have
Hmm.
to do. Your life is gonna change. You're never going to be stop traveling. So that was okay. Like the work was good, but I was in front of the computer the whole day, which I think is something that goes
Yeah.
um, not with my personality because I'm very outdoor. I like to be barefoot all the time. That's why the company is called Pies Descalzos, because I'm always barefoot, and my mom is always telling me, "Why are you barefoot?" Like in Mexico, we don't have uh, in Mexico we don't have this tradition or habit. I don't know how to say. In America, do you take your
Yeah.
shoes to come inside a house?
It depends on the family very much. A lot of times, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with the carpet.
Oh, how new the carpet is.
oh no way.
Yeah.
Well, in Mexico, it's nothing like we Mexicans we don't do it. As far as I know, I know only the people
Hmm.
that have traveled, that been into Asia, Europe, and they want
Yes.
to copy like that thing, which I really love. I will do my home like that. Like people cannot enter wishes because it's cleaner, it's smarter. So, well, anyways, I was super sad and frustrated because the salary was so bad. Like basically you earn by commissions, but they gave you like nothing for one
Hmm.
sale of one like 5,000 US dollars. The commission was like really nothing. So for
Yeah.
me it was super frustrating because I like to make money, I like business, but no matter how I tried, I was not earning the things I like to earn. So I just I talked with my boss and I told her, I'm super frustrated. I speak four languages, and here I feel like I'm not practicing them, and I am not taking the chance to grow. Economically, it's super bad. So the the next week they told me like, hey, thank you, Laila, for working with us, but we don't think this is your place to be. And for me, I was like in my comfort zone because I knew I wasn't happy, but I didn't want to quit because I didn't have like a plan B. But at that time, when they told me
Right.
Hmm.
thank you, that basically they were firing me, I felt super
Yeah.
free, like I was in a jail.
Oh.
And then this
Yeah.
company, which is a very big company in Mexico, they had the other area of tours. So every time I was super interested in the tours, I joined the meetings where the tour companies gave the training to the sellers so they know what
Hmm.
things to sell. I join sometimes the meetings just to see the destinations and say, oh, maybe I will go, but and now I know what to do, no? And then when I got
Yeah.
fired, I thought, well, I know for languages, I'm not timid. I know how to sell. So I like to travel. I like art. I like culture. So maybe I should give tours. For me, it was like something like fun. I like to do fun things now.
Hmm.
So I joined a Facebook group of tour guides in Mexico City, and one person was looking for a tour guide, and he posted, "I need bilingual tour guides with car." So I wrote him, I don't have a
Hmm.
car, but I speak some languages, so I don't know, maybe we can have a talk. And then somebody wrote me some hours after and told me that they were interested. So I told the guy that I wasn't a tour guide, but that I learned really fast, and I I know some languages. So he told me like, oh no, no problem. If you talk English, it's perfect. If you talk more, it's more than perfect. We're going to teach you. You don't have to be a tour guide. So, and I told him, yeah, when the next training? So he told me, oh, tomorrow we are going to the basilica. So if you want to join, you can come. So I was super happy. I was there the next day. It was the boss of a company I'm still working with, and the owner is really young, like me. I don't know. Maybe it's younger, but he's really young, and I really admire him, and I am really thankful with him because he trusted me. And then the next day, we received one person, and he gave the tour of the basilica for me. It was I was like, oh wow, how many dates? How does he know so many dates? Because in the basilica are
Yeah.
7 churches, and so you have to say all the years when the churches were built, and the year with the indigenous, so the apparitions, the year blah blah blah, all many years. And for me, it was like, oh my god, this is not going to be easy. But the tour was super fun, and the tip the man gave to him, he split it with me, and he told me, we split the tip. So I was like, oh nice, I came to a training and I gained a tip, and I learned, and I didn't pay nothing. So for me was
Uh-huh.
like, oh my god, I want to do this. And so I told the and I don't want to say his name, but I told my boss,
Mhm.
oh, you know what? I'm super interested. Like, if you have an art training tomorrow, or if I can start like now, I really want to join. And he told me, oh yes, of course. And so from this moment, he started to training me in all the tours, and it was fascinating. Like, learning from Teotihuacan was something that opened my way back to the things now I love a lot. Every time I think I know it, but I didn't see it. Like, I every time have it in front of me, but I didn't know that this could be an option for me. So yeah, since that moment, I've been a tour guide. That happened last year, and now before joining the podcast, I was writing a blog. I have now a blog from my last tour to Tateique, which is a place in the highlands of Jalisco, and I visited one of the most preserved culture in Mexico. Wow, it's a trip you have to come, guys. It's wow.
Mhm.
It was a travel in time, and it's super nice. I really want to start
Yeah.
bringing people to this place, because it's like a real hidden gem, like real. Like,
Yeah.
you drive like 6 hours when you enter in the hills, and it's apart from nothing. It's really cool. So, but yeah, I've been enjoying a lot being a tour guide. More than being a tour
Mhm.
guide, I still like it's a journey into traveling, but also an inside journey. Really cool. It's been a fantastic journey for me.
It sounds amazing. And, this is the first time, of course, we're learning all these things about you, but I know it was clear to us on the tours that you do have a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. And it was so great to be on those tours with you. And it seemed like no matter what we were curious about, you had the background, you had the information. So yeah, congratulations to build that in a year.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, of course you were preparing for longer than that. You didn't know what you were preparing
Well,
for,
no,
maybe,
I
but
took you to tours
yeah.
that I am fan. Like, for example, the murals. I'm fan.
Yeah.
I am a very fan of
Yeah.
street art since I was in university. But I didn't know
Yeah.
how to say, the birthplace of the muralism was here. So when I
Yeah.
discovered that, Like it was also finding another hidden gem in my own country, in my own city. And I
Yeah.
was so shocked, like you, like I don't know if more or less, but a lot of things I've been showing people, I am discovering these places with them, you know. So
Mm,
for me, it's been this journey been has been really fast. Like things are coming really fast. And yeah, sometimes I'm learning with the tour with the tourists. Of course, then it becomes like more. I know more and more and more. But sometimes the first time I make a tour, it's with the people. I'm not ashamed about telling this
mhm.
because I tell always my guests that I am like another tourist in my city, like, and I
Mhm.
feel like I
Yeah.
am your friend, and I am just showing you what I have discovered first. So it's like, hey, come, I watch what I
Mhm.
saw here, because sometimes I hear the speech other tour guides do, which I don't criticize because I finally it's a job, but they do it like very mechanical, like they learn a speech.
Mhm.
And for me, this is more than a job. Like it's a hobby that I I once I asked life to give me something I could do, like make me only happy. Like I don't have to think about money, and I can't realize, I cannot believe he gave it to me. Like for me, this is, I don't feel like this is a job. and and I
Yeah.
think we all have to look for these things that make us really happy, and that you are you don't feel like you have to do it. Like you do it because you love it, and then you want to share it with others. So that's what I was looking all my life. Like no matter if I had many business, at the end I was super, like I felt a void, that I had money, but at the end I wasn't happy, and I didn't know why. And then I realized, because I was just making it because of money. I was not making it because that would really make me happy. So now is how I feel in this in my tours, is that I'm not chasing money. I am just doing what I love, and I'm investigating every time more, or writing or making a video, but because it's something that really I feel a lot of passion for this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, we definitely benefited from that when we were in Mexico City, and I don't even want to admit to you how many times I've looked for flights since we've been
No
back.
way.
Looked for flights to come back.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have to come.
We will be back.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely, we will be back.
I
No,
have
no
discovered so
question.
many things.
Um,
You know what? You have to come for the Day
yeah,
of the Dead. Day of the Dead, you have to
yes.
come, yes or yes, once in your life.
I read more about La
Oh,
Llorona since we've been back, and that whole tradition, and especially the tradition you told us about in
uh-huh.
Xochimilco, and the play, right?
Yeah.
It's like a play.
Looks
Yeah.
good, no?
I found so amazing too, like all of Mexico has this tradition of La Llorona, but I loved the Xochimilcan twist that the waters of the
Mm.
canals are from her tears. Like that is like so beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, going in the
yeah,
night to the canals with all the candles, and the
hmm,
boat decorated with the marigolds and all the candles there. It's
yeah,
another environment, completely different, like really mystical. But yeah, definitely you have to come to Mexico in the Day of the Dead. And I would recommend everyone who hear us, if you're planning to come to Mexico,
mm,
this is the day. Like it's something. Of course, it's really cool to come with in summer or spring, but this day is epical. Like no other country has this
mhm,
celebration in other parts of the world, like us. So just a tip to come in.
yeah,
Yeah, Like
Yeah.
you said, in Dia de los Muertos.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the 3 tours that we went on together. We're going to cover in more depth a lot of that, so we don't need to do the whole. We would be here for hours probably. Uh, but let's start by talking a little bit about Teotihuacan. When we got there, as you mentioned, the sky was full of hot air
Oh, yeah.
balloons. It was surreal. But what really stayed with us was how you helped us understand the site. It's very big. It felt very big, but it was not overwhelming with a guide like you. Um, so it was a very personal experience. And how do you make that happen? What is your approach to that site and helping to guide people at that site?
Well, like you said, the place is really big. It can be really overwhelming. Indeed, there were other parts that we didn't visit, and it in 5 hours is impossible to visit every place. But
Right.
Yeah.
since the beginning, when I was visiting Teotihuacan, and I went with other tour guides, I saw it was just the side museum, and other tour guides sometimes they don't go to the museum, they go straight into the pyramids. And what I saw is that they
Mhm.
just show the pyramid of the sun, the moon, the Quetzalpapalotl palace, and some of them the museum, and some of them, and mainly everyone goes to the pyramid of the feather serpent. So it was like basically visiting the
Mhm.
pyramids. There are 2 museums, but the museum that has like I think like it has more things to show is the side museum, the one we were into, and the palace of Quetzalpapalotl, which is a palace where the elite live. So I just well, the story of Teotihuacan is really interesting. It's also the information really overwhelming because there is a lot of information, but basically I understood that it was like really for people to understand, like it was a very good idea first going into the museum to kindly to explain a little bit about everything, about when it was built, who built it, how, the religion, the workshops, the system of burials, and the gods. That it's how the museum is divided. So with that approach, I think would be more enriching to go to the pyramids when you know a little bit, like you have a background, instead of going directly into the pyramids. This is how I do most of the times the tour. When we were there, it was so early that the museum wasn't open at that
Mhm.
moment because they opened it at 9, and I think we were there at 8. So
Yes.
also like going from the Palace of Quetzalpapalotl is another strategy. So you can do this tour like starting in different from different doors, but I think that changed how people can understand. But for example, like the tour we did with you that we started in the Palace of Quetzalpapalotl, then you take the chance that the city is designed from north to south, and then you just have to walk
Mhm.
through the Avenue of the Dead, and then just covering the places like the first the Palace of the Elite, then the Pyramid of the Moon, then the Pyramid of the Sun, then the museum, and then at the end the Pyramid of the Feather Serpent. In this way, this route is really convenient because of the geography. So you have to not every time it's going to be the same tour, even though you go 5 6 times per week, because sometimes you go earlier,
Mhm.
sometimes people I don't know, they have a baby and they, I don't know, many things happen that you just have to
Mhm.
reschedule how you think your tour will be, but you have to make sure that people understand the story and understand how things pass. uh, but mainly, I think it's about the pyramids, how, in which things the Teotihuacanos inspire, why they build them, and which uh, why they are dedicating the pyramids to it. That is, I think that the people that want to know, like if you give other data or other information about the history, how many people were there, why the civilization collapsed, like every time it's going to be different. It's going to be someone that knows a lot and he wants to know more and more and more, and you can give all the information. But there are people that just want to know the basic things. You give it to them, but I always try to give the most I can because it's something like super impressive.
Hmm.
Like I think also you have to cut the attention of the people who are hearing you, the way you tell the story, like because it's something really astonishing. So you have to transmit this message with this emotion,
Yeah.
like no, like man, you are in the biggest, powerful emperor of Mesoamerica. Like like the people
Yeah.
really understand. No, but
Yeah.
it's true because sometimes people don't have any idea of where they are. Like you have to make sure that people understand the size of the place they are visiting, but I think that depends also on
Right.
on the on the tour guide, like how much emotion you put,
Yes.
or how much do you want your visitors to enjoy, or I don't know. Like me,
Hmm.
I always want that the people really learn, um, more than, of course, to have fun is the goal. But for me, it's really important that the people learn. Like you leave a little seed and people are going to go home to investigate more, or like so things like that.
Yeah. I think there too, it's interesting because I'm sure a lot of people have not heard of the civilization that was there, right? It's less famous maybe broadly than like the Mexica, the Aztecs, or the
Yeah.
Mayans, some of these other civilizations. And I know you mentioned to us several times, like no, the Mexica were impressed
Yeah.
by this. Like they came and they were like, "Wow,
Yeah.
this is something," And I think that has really stuck with me as how significant that site
Yeah,
is.
because the city of
The
the Mexicas was something apart. It was something also really
mhm.
impressive, but that they got inspired a lot of things they inspired in Teotihuacan. I didn't know Teotihuacan was less famous than the Mexicas. So the Mexicas are more known.
Yes, certainly is the I think because of the conquista, they're famous certainly here for
Oh,
that.
right.
As being the civilization that had contact with the Spanish.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
Teotihuacan was more known because of the pyramids. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
No.
And maybe it depends globally. Maybe it does depend, but certainly here. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I will take a
Um,
note
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. Is there anything, any site or building or anything at Teotihuacan that you wish you could show people if you had a little bit more time to
Oh,
show
yeah,
them?
of course. The painting of the
Yeah.
Tlalocan. It's a painting that it's really near
Mm,
from the museum of the site in the door 5, very near from the door 5.
okay.
It's a very little neighborhood next to the circuit of the pyramid. So the pyramids are like in a circle, inside a circle, and the car goes around and it's like a circuit. So this neighborhood is
Mhm.
next to the circuit. It's where the elite, in other times, other elite used to live. And then they have an original painting that is called the Tlalocan, and it's how they imagine the heaven or their paradise will be. So it's the original. Like it's not complete. Some parts are missing, but for me, it's really impressive. Like how they paint people dancing, singing, farming, butterflies, a mountain that is the holy mountain. The people go inside, and then in the underworld. Yeah, it's something I really wish to show people. For me, this is something super interesting because all the cultures, not no matter which religion they have, they thought about the paradise. So I don't know. I think could be like an interesting thing to show people with different backgrounds, and that it's an original painting. I
Yeah.
have when I receive people that are artists, painters, or people who can appreciate it a little bit more, I take the time and then I take them there. Probably other parts I do it like quickly,
Mm.
but I take the chance to show it them. It's something super cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, Teotihuacan, it's a place you have to visit if you're in Mexico. And it becomes like an obsession. Like once you know it's
Mm.
the city of the secrets, and that a lot of things are theories and some things are being discovered really recent, I think become like an obsession that you start to watch documentaries and want to know more. Like
Oh
at
yeah.
least that happened to me. But yeah, Teotihuacan was cool. And the tour we had
Yeah.
was very special. Like even for me, I have never seen so many
Mm.
balloons. Well, now I have
Yeah.
because I have already took the hard balloon tour, but
Oh, you
yeah,
did.
amazing. One of the things you have to do, yes or yes, if you come to Mexico City, it's beautiful. But at that time when I was with you, I was never so early in the pyramids and never I seen so many balloons.
Hmm.
So for me it was super magical as well. I didn't know, I told you, I don't know if to explain you or take in a video because
Just
this is so
yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
Well, and we enjoyed getting there that early too, because there weren't that many people there. Like it really, you've certainly seen how crowded it gets. We've really only heard about it because for us, there were not a lot of people, and so we had kind of the place to ourselves, which was really
Yeah,
great.
no, going early it's a good idea also for the sun, like to avoid
Yeah.
the really hard sun in your skin. Better to go at 8
Mhm.
a.m. that it's when it opened the pyramids. Then by 9, 10, 11, by 11 a.m. you have already finished the tour. So more or less 3 hours is
Mhm.
the about this tour to visit the main things. But yeah, it was super cool. So Teotihuacan, I think this is when this I already wrote that this started for me also to be magical. Like watching a lot of balloons and all of
Mhm.
that was something super cool. And then when you told me you were fans of Diego Rivera, I was like, oh, no way. Because I was also starting to delve a little bit more into his life. And of course, he's like someone super. I really admire him. I know he was a jerk and he was a young womanizer, and
Yeah.
in his personal life, he made a lot of mistakes. But as an artist, I really admire him. And I think, what do you think? I know you're.
Yeah, we've always loved the art of Diego Rivera, and as you know, we live near some pretty significant works of his in
Wow.
Detroit. So we're familiar with his work, but we felt like the tour you took us on really helped us understand him much more. Like I feel like we didn't know much more about him as an artist, knew some about his reputation too, but um, we also felt like the tour you took us on, like Diego Rivera showed us his picture of
Yes.
Mexico. Like I felt like we learned because the art here is not about Mexico, right? His art here is
Yeah.
about something else. So seeing his art about Mexico, his home country, was really special. So you made that tour just for us, and I know you're offering it now, which is awesome. Uh, how did you go about creating a custom experience like that? What did you think about when you were thinking about where we should go?
Well, I've already seen the experience before offered. I didn't know how famous or how cool it is, but as I told you, I'm a street fan art. I wrote a little book about street art, which I can share with you. When I was in university,
Yeah.
we had like an activity to write something about street art. The class was muralism, I think, indeed. Um, and since that moment, I had a teacher from Argentina who introduced us
Mhm.
into street art. And I have traveled to other countries and watched street art. I have an Instagram account which I post a lot of street art that I see everywhere. So for me, the topic was not new, like not really new. Like I know I had to research and to study about the place, which is amazing, about the story also of the public education. So the topic was not difficult. I love Diego Rivera. It was kind of difficult because this place I took you, it has more than 100 murals. So of course, I
Yeah.
couldn't learn.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't learn a lot in a short period of time. But for me, as you said, when I was watching a documentary uh, of this place, I couldn't believe it. It was like, for me, it
Mhm.
was like discovering a treasure. And my skin started to get like goosebumps. And
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know, things have been happening in my life. Like, I cannot believe that. I will tell you after. But yeah, for me, that was like, oh my God, like I'm living in Mexico City and I didn't know this place exists. Like, how come?
Mhm.
And so I was watching the documentary and my tears couldn't just I couldn't stop like crying, but it was like a crying of like of happiness. It was something like I never experienced
Mhm.
before. So I was just watching documentaries, and it was like really like I felt a lot of passion. So when I went with you, I was watching the
Yeah.
murals also for the first time. I have watched them in the documentaries, but watching that with you was
Mhm.
like, for me, wow, so something out of space. Like I cannot describe it. Like I knew it was something special for you, but also for me was something like super
Yeah.
huge. So I was like really shocked, like you. And now I've been there many times, but every time I watch them, like the images are super strong, no? Like super hard. Like they
Mhm.
Mhm.
And there are so many strong
yeah,
images, right? Like,
like
yeah.
yeah, like watching the images for me was shocking. Like you said, you could understand the
Mhm.
history of Mexico through images, which was the point of that project indeed, because not more than 95% of the people were didn't know how to read and write. So the way of teaching them about the history of Mexico was through images. But so watching them was like traveling into time and understand the suffering of the people. On wow, like there are like you said, there are so many images like so strong. When you went, that day was the night of the museum. So every last Wednesday of the month in Mexico City, we have the night museums. So museums are open from the time they closed to like 3 or 4 hours more. So at the time I went with you, it was the day of the night of museums. So I stayed. They did some special tour guides, and again I was hearing the tour, and the woman was talking about, wow, and I couldn't stop crying. It was like something shocking. Like I don't know, Mexico has things to discover, like really cool, really cool. Also the tour of Xochimilco that we are going to talk next. Days I have been before.
Yes.
It was not my first time.
Uh-huh.
Also, Teotihuacan, I know it like my second home because it's the most booked tour. But the murals was something
Yeah.
super special. So yes,
Yeah.
I will. I would love more people to come to this tour because it's something it's very impressive to watch the history of Mexico with the images of Diego and other painters.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely learned so much about the history of Mexico and Mexico City that we did not know before. And I feel like it's a very impactful way to take that history in.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know I told you, and hopefully she's listening. I really want to bring my mom for this. And maybe if I say it here on the maybe if I say here on the podcast, maybe she'll do it.
And then she comes.
But, yeah. So the time you've spent looking at the Rivera murals and similar work, has it changed or deepened the way that you see Mexico?
Oh yes, of course. Of course. Every time I love Mexico more. Every time I know more about my country, and I know I ignore also a lot of things that happened to me when I went to this last tour to with the Huicholes or the Virarica culture. Every time I know more, I feel I know less that I don't know a lot. So, but yeah, every time I've been in watching the murals, also I went to San Ildefonso, a building that it's very near from the public education secretary building. It's like almost crossing the street. Is where the first murals were made. So next time you come, we have to go to this place because the first mural of Diego Rivera is there. That is called The Creation, and it's amazing. I have just posted something on Instagram about this work. It's really, really awesome. But yeah, every time I made a tour or I know a new place or with the murals, yeah, my point of view of Mexico, my love grows more. Like I feel a lot of admiration for Mexico, and it's something I couldn't see before because before I was a tour guide, I was traveling mainly to Europe, and I think I know more Europe than Mexico, and now this year I want to travel more in Mexico. Like I really want to know my country. I feel a lot of admiration for the place I am, and I'm excited for what it's going to come the next years because I have a lot of plans and also just living here and know there are so many places to discover. It's something like makes me really feel like I feel really excited about that.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it's that art is so transformative, and the images, like you said, were so strong, and we just scratched the surface of them. Why don't we transition to Xochimilco, which really at the end of the week was just the highlight for us, definitely.
Yes.
We had originally planned to just take a trajinera. And then we were kind of talking to you about it, and you gave us this idea of this early morning kayaking trip. And I feel like afterwards we were really connected with Xochimilco. And it's kind of we'll take a little piece of it with us wherever we go.
Oh, this is super nice. No, this fills my heart. Well, I come from Xochimilco, and the first thing I told you is no, this place people have sold it in a really bad way. People only go there to drink and to hear mariachi, even the Mexicans. A lot of people drunk every Sunday, and people, even Mexicans, we don't know what the treasure we have there. So I'm super happy that you chose, that you trust, and that you came because it's kind of far. No.
Yeah, we were. What time did we get in the car? 5:30? Was that?
It may have been earlier.
Than I don't even remember.
Yeah, I know. Well, the good thing is that at that time there is no traffic, so you could arrive.
That's true.
There was no traffic.
That was the least traffic we saw.
The whole tour. No.
Um, yeah, it was when we left the dock in the kayak. It was dark. It was very quiet. Um, and then we watched the sunrise, and it was this amazingly quiet moment, right? And then Eric, the other guide we were with, is Eric like is he a very deep man? It's like the things that he was sharing, the pre-Hispanic philosophy. It was like so profound,
Yeah.
so deep.
Yeah.
It was just a beautiful experience and such a quiet experience. Um, I imagine that that's a moment when you're designing a tour, that's a good moment, right? That's a moment you really want to achieve.
Yes. Yes.
And
I didn't
yeah,
know he was about to share that because I didn't know he was really he was really into the Nahua cosmovision, but for me it was something
yeah,
really really cool because the idea of Pies Descalzos is to
yeah.
preserve the pre-Hispanic cultures. So it was like the cherry on top that he started to talk about the Nahua cosmovision because
Yeah,
not so many people are interested in that. But yeah, he is into that, and it's super interesting to learn. It's fascinating to learn about the indigenous cultures. Like it's like a puzzle. Like you have Mexico and all
hmm,
the cultures, and then one culture arrived before the other one. So yeah, it's like a puzzle. So it's something really fascinating to learn about their cosmovision, and I really feel inspired on how they could appreciate nature. So that's why I
yeah,
feel so connected with the indigenous culture. I really admire that part, the relationship they achieved with the nature, the artisanies they made. Once you start to know each culture and you see their artistic expressions and you understand that like an example why they did this in their art, like why they put the I don't know deers or this type of flower, because everything has a meaning. So when you start to delve into the pre-Hispanic cultures, is something very I don't know, very enriching.
I keep thinking about the zigzag, right? Eric shared with us like the idea that they believed that you should not follow a straight path, but like zigzag. Uh, I believe that's the one I keep thinking about that he shared with us.
No, yeah, some things just
Yeah,
keep in your
yeah,
mind because they understood life in a
hmm,
different way, and sometimes you can rescue for things you pass through your daily life. So
yeah,
it's super interesting. So the tour of Xochimilco for me, it's a very special tour because I can show the people who come the place I am from. Even though I was not born here, I came to live here since I was like 5 years, and
mhm,
so yeah, so Chimilco, for example, has been changing for me. Like before I was a tour guide, before I knew these type of things, maybe I didn't know where I was living. Like I didn't know how much value it has. Like now it has more value because all the things that I've been discovering about the ancient pre-Hispanic technique, about the axolotls, that is it's what it's left from
mhm.
pre-Hispanic time, like physically it's what it's left from pre-Hispanic times. So yeah, every time like things get more value for me. So it's a very special tour because also it's to show people again the relationship with nature. So it's more like a
Yeah,
introspective tour, like more than going to drink in the trajineras, making a lot of noise and shouting. It's
mhm,
more like introspective, be in silence, hear the water, the birds. And I think these type of experiences can really mark your travels. Like you you can really um, stays in your heart and in your memories. Like if you just go to a party, like then you're not going to remember that with a lot of meaning, you know. And also one of the
Yeah.
pillars of the vision of Pies Descalzos is to make people to create these experiences that people can grow, that can heal, maybe that can gives you like a spiritual moment, yeah, maybe also, but that you gain something, like you grow, like you just don't have fun, but that you learn and you grow, and yeah, these type of things.
You know, on that tour, we did the kayaking and the sunrise, which was all amazing, and then we went to the farm too and spent time on the farm eating breakfast, learning from the farmers there, seeing the animals, of course, the axolotl and the goats and the rabbits and the cats and the cow that
The
was
baby
the
cow.
baby cow was what, 2 days
Oh
old
yeah,
or
it was
uh,
super cool.
that experience has been a really interesting one that I know we've been thinking about a lot because, of course, in a sense, we were tourists. We had, we had paid to be there. You had arranged for us to be there, so we were tourists. We were travelers. But it felt also different from that. It also felt like um, we were just there with you and with the people on the farm talking and learning, and the level of connection was very different than I think any other tour we had ever taken. And I know we had shared that with you before too, but it's a tour that we'll never forget. And I think when Ashley says that we feel still connected to Xochimilco, I think that's why. That kind of a thing, is that something that you are trying to create in more of your tours? Do you feel like there's space in a lot of tours that you give for that kind of connection?
Yes, yes, yes. I prefer, for example, the tours that are not in group, like big groups, because then the
Hmm.
connection is really different. I have experienced that before. I have received groups, and it's fun because it's a lot of people. Then the experience is very different, but you don't get to know the people like really close. And yeah, for me,
Hmm.
I think it's really important to create a connection. Like as I told you, I don't know if I told you or not, but I tell mostly more of the people who come that I don't see you as clients. Like I love to travel, and I like to see you like my guests, like my friends that are
Hmm.
coming, and I am sharing with you things about my place. I feel more comfortable um, watching this activity. Like I, I told you I have business before, but this for me, it's more than a business. It's a way to, like you said, like to create connection with people, to get to know them more close. There are people that have, I don't know, because I think I make it unconscious, but I like people to feel comfortable. And sometimes I saw they feel so
Hmm.
comfortable, they start to share with me things really intimate. So, especially, for example, in the tour of the Basilica, when they come to see the shrine of the Virgin, they share with me very personal things of why they are there. They have
Hmm.
lost someone or things like that. And twice, people, when they say goodbye, this is something really, really nice that I really appreciate. But last time I was with a family, they were like 7 or 8, I don't know, but I was talking a lot with the elder man, and at the end when he went, he hugged me and he told me, "I see you as one of my family," or something like that. He told me, and
Hmm.
for me that made me feel really, really happy because I don't do it like
Yeah.
with a purpose or. I don't know how to explain, but I do it like naturally. It's something like I just feel
Hmm.
to like to be nice with other people. Like why don't be why like I
Yeah.
like to be transparent. Like this is how I am. Like also with people here in Mexico, well, I am like that. I don't um hang out a lot because I am focused on this, but yeah, I like to be like gentle, and if people for who are not from the here, who are not in their homeland, who speak other language, who maybe are a little bit scared, and if there is someone who gave them trust, I think it's something like they are going to appreciate a lot.
I mean, I think we would have had a totally different trip. It would have been still a good trip to Mexico City had we not taken tours with you, but it wouldn't have been the trip that it was. I mean, definitely not, you know. And so having the connections, not just with you, but also with the others at the farm that you connected
Yeah.
us with. Yeah, it was
And I,
transformative.
yeah, and the people I look for to work is that this they have the same like energy, like they want to share, they
Hmm.
want to learn. They are like Eric, like into the Nawa cosmovision, which I didn't know, but for me it's perfect because I like to learn from the cultures as well. So I think the universe just put together that the people that are like
Yeah.
they say vibrating in the same thing.
Yeah. It was actually a very funny moment. I didn't think to mention this before, but um, he talked for a long time. Like he had a lot to say, and I understood a lot of what he said. I think Ashley did too. But you had been translating for him for us, and then what he talked for probably 7 or 8 minutes. So then, like, what were you gonna do?
Oh, because he was
Repeat
saying
all of
so
them?
deep things I didn't
Yeah,
want to interrupt. Like
yeah,
I, I
right.
was
Of
also
course, of
shocked
course.
like by the things he was saying in that precise moment when we were just watching the
Yeah.
sunrise, and he said that the goal for the Aztecs was the sun and that we have another chance every day.
Hmm.
No, the things he was sharing were
Yeah.
things really beautiful. Like I didn't wanted to interrupt him, but
Yeah.
yeah, all I said, well, I will just say the most important things or the things that I will remember.
Yeah. Right. Right.
No, but
Right.
the tour of
Yeah.
Xochimilco is very special. It's something like people. I know not every it's not for everyone because also I don't know. It's a little bit far away. It's a little bit more expensive, but not because I want to. It's because the things I pay are high. Like it's an
Hmm. Yeah.
agroecological breakfast. So also for
Right.
me it's expensive, but I know people who
Hmm.
can appreciate it are going to pay for that because at the end I think it's a very memorable experience. Like
Oh, for sure, the value that you get out of that versus the value of doing the trachinera or something like that, there's no
yeah,
comparison, right? I mean, I think it's the kind of thing, if you have to manage a travel budget, it's the kind of thing that you skip other things so that you can
yeah.
do that. Yeah,
Have
yeah.
some street tacos.
Yeah, you can find some tacos instead of going to the restaurant, and there you go. Go to a cantina or something, and you're all
Yeah,
good.
but yeah, when you
Um,
shared to me that it was one of the best experience you ever had, like I was, oh my, I wanted to cry because it's a it's a thing that for me, then all the things that I'm doing, it's worth it. Like it's when
mhm,
money is just not enough. Like like when you touch
yeah.
people like that, for me it's enough then. Like I'm 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 I'm
Hmm.
uh, I'm done. Like when I hear that kind of things because yeah, because at the end the only thing you leave in people is experiences. Like when people remember you or remember your tours or remember something you share with others is the thing that people are going to take back home, I think.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening to the first half of this interview with Laila, our guide in Mexico City. Next week, we will have the second part of the interview. So we hope to see you then.
Yeah, definitely come back to see how it ends.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
That's all for today's episode of Go See Do Explore. Thanks for joining us in sharing the wonder of travel.
If you want more from each episode, head to goseedoexplore.com, where you'll find blog posts, resources, and extras from our travels.
You can also reach us anytime at podcast@goseedoexplore.com. We love hearing from you.
And if you'd like to support the show, check out goseedoexplore.com/support.
We've got subscriber levels that unlock benefits like our full trip itineraries and notes, a private Discord for travel chat, and even postcards and souvenirs from our adventures.
Don't forget to rate and review the podcast. It helps more travelers like you find us.
Until next time, I'm Christopher.
And I'm Ashley.
Keep exploring, keep discovering, and we'll see you out there.